Excuse the technical difficulties. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 141. The origin of giant myths. It is Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Let's see who's here in the chat. Hold on a second. Everything is going to be real spastic tonight, I can already tell you. I don't know if I got a weak signal or what, but yeah. See, it looks like Deborah was first in the chat. She says, this chat reminds me of the Irish giant. His family are still trying to get his body back to bury it. His last wish was to be buried back in Giants Bay, Ireland. That's kind of interesting. One of the giant stories, I think it's in one of these articles I was going to read here a little bit, talked about the tallest Irishman ever. Well, they used to track the Guinness Book of World Records. Used to track the based on what nationality or whatever. Now they don't do that. They just do the world or something. I don't know. Maybe people want to know who the tallest Irishman is, though. Yeah, thought that popped up. I guess it didn't. Fancy seeing you here. Yeah, welcome to Deborah and JoJo. Come on now. There we go. Bloody long work day. Chilling chat. Eric's was fun tonight. Come on, work right. There we go. Now we can go to the next one. Deborah says, I listened to Eric's and watched the twins at the same time. Need to decompress. It's been a long paranormal week. The case with the kids has been hard. I need some brain candy. JoJo says, yep, relax and chat before bed. Sounds good to me. Yeah, started a little bit early today. But it's really late for you guys. Kiz is here. Welcome. Got all kinds of United Kingdom representation up in here. But where I'm at, the end of the world stuff lock it's that end of the world stuff lock. End of the world? Is it going to be end of the world again? They keep promising me the end of the world's going to be here, and it never comes. I'm your brain candy. Okay. The UK rocks, says JoJo. Yeah. So it's late where you guys are at. You're so what is it? It's almost 6 p.m. here. And isn't it almost 11 p.m. where you're at? Until you get spring forward, and then you'll be back to midnight again. Why did that jump? I'm telling you, this whole thing is spastic as hell. OGG says hi from UK. Foghorn keeping me awake, so thought I would pop in here. Awesome. Thanks for stopping in with us. Here we go. Deborah says, I meant the bad Wi-Fi was the end of the world eclipse that happens 500 million times already. Yeah. You know, every time something happens, you know, people come out of the woodwork making some kind of prediction. It's going to be the end of the world. 1999, it's the end of the world. They were like, no, that wasn't the real end of the world. The real end of the world is the end of the year 2000. So we had two New Year's Eves in a row where people after saying it's going to be horrible, nothing happened. And then, you know, what else? 2012, the Mayan calendar. Oh my God, it's going to be the end of the world. Nope. But there was a movie to be sold and books and stuff. People made money off that whole idea, so they had to hype it up. They were hyping it up and selling books and movies. So, whatever. Almost midnight. JoJo, Deb's almost 12 midnight. So wait, have you had your spring forward yet? In the UK, the end of the world was the 70s with the Cuban missiles. Yeah. They made us stay up all night. First time our TV didn't end at 10 p.m. Yeah. Government's got to get you all spooked. Something, it's horrible. It's a bad thing, and you need us in the government to protect you. Excuse us while we go make some more laws to take away some more of your liberties and to take some more of your money. Anytime what was it, Reagan that said that's the most what did he say, the most feared words, the most dangerous words is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Those assholes are not here to help. They should all be fired, all of them investigated and thrown in jail accordingly, which I have a feeling that so many of them have committed such drastic crimes against the people of our nations that they would get like multiple life sentences. They would never see light again. That's why they will never allow themselves to be tried. They will never allow themselves to be investigated. JoJo says yes, ours went forward on the 31st, March 31st. Well, I wonder why everybody don't do it on the same day. If you're going to do it on the same day. Now, personally, I think it should stop doing that nonsense. It doesn't. The reality is right now it's 6 p.m. because we sprang forward a while back. It could, if we didn't spring forward, it would be 5 p.m. And it changes precisely nothing for me. I would still be sitting here talking with the sun at the same place in the sky, and just different numbers on the stupid clocks. And those clocks don't matter, you know. So whatever. I mean, now if I'm planning on going on at 6 p.m., then yeah, I'm going to be going on at a different time. But it don't matter as far as just this point in time. Nothing changes. So why change the numbers on the clock? Well, that's the thing. It actually doesn't stay lighter for longer. It's the amount of daylight's the exact same number of hours. It's just that they change the numbers on the clock. So, you know, it doesn't change anything. It's just the numbers on the clocks. Now, around here, when it gets where get our longest days, yeah, that means it's getting dark at 9 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. I don't know that I really care, you know. Um, so we need to pick one and stick with that. Is all I know. We need to pick one and stick with it because it's just a dumb thing to do. Just a dumb thing to do. Deborah says, I'm in the northwest of England, so when we fall backwards with the clock, it's dark at 11 a.m. some days. We did it in England to save 1 hour of street lighting that we hardly have now anyway. It's an archaic rule. Yeah. Yeah. Now we can light everything with great ease, so it's, whatever. Just stupid if we ask you. Yeah. I think it is. After we got the ability to light everything, it don't matter, you know, like things that used to you wouldn't have been able to do in the dark back in the way back in the old days. You can now do in the dark. I have an uncle. He likes to mow at night. There's headlights on the mower, and he mows at night because it's cooler. Why do it in the heat of the day? Now, if he was in town, he couldn't do that, but he lives in the country, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Sunrise in over 6 hours, shining right into my window. Yeah. It just creates confusion. Every time they change, like it messes. Some people, their health is not so good, like it's really, really bad. And any kind of change is a stress, right? And so if this person's in bad health, that the stress of dealing with the time change can be hard on them, and some people die. Like people like deaths. There's a death spike with the time change. That alone, you would think, maybe we should stop doing that shit. It kills people. The time change literally kills people. Now, yes, they were already weak and, probably on their way out anyway, but it definitely stresses people to death, some of them. All UK chat tonight. It looks like it. Where the hell is everybody at? I'm sure, and Mr. Lee, he can show up. Mr. He's still UK, but he'll bail on us to go over to Moog's in 2 hours. Probably. Got to thinking about giants again because there was an article, and we'll look at that article in a little bit, about one of my favorite giants in the world. Yep. And she lives in a neighboring state to me. She lives in the state of Texas. And yep, she is a sight to behold. Oh, okay, chat tonight. Alrighty then. Come on, you can do it. Show that. I've already clicked it, and it's not bringing up the next chat. Come on, there we go. Let's go. You can do it. There it is. There it is. Deborah says, well, I never knew that. I wonder what the death figures are for UK around the end of October and the end of March. I don't know. I'm sure if you do a search, you'll find it. But yeah, the time change kills people. It's some deadly shit. Like shit, like heart attacks have a spike. So it's hard on people. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I just made tea. I'm here. You're 19 minutes late, Mr. Lee. You almost missed everything. JoJo says, bet some are just watching. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it says we got 13 watching right now. Started a little early. Just 15 minutes though. The OGG says the moon is in the same place, not turning. Well, technically it is turning, but it turns once every trip around the Earth, so the one side always faces the Earth. So technically it is turning, but we talked about that on this channel before, about how it's interesting that you have an orbital period that is exactly the same as the revolution of the moon. It turns once for every trip around the Earth, so that the one side always faces the Earth. That's too perfect, right? Because the moon could have been 0.9 turns per trip around the Earth, and then it wouldn't be like that. We would see different parts of the moon all the time. Or it could have turned 1.1 times per trip around the Earth, and we would see different parts of the moon all the time. Or if it had been 1.4 or 1.5, 2 times for every trip around the Earth, 3 times for every trip around the Earth. The Earth turns 365 times every time it goes around the sun. There are many, many options for how many times the moon could turn per trip around the Earth, but it's exactly one. Just the only option, the single one option that makes it to where you only see one side of the moon exactly at all times. That is suspicious. I know the mainstream scientists try to say, it's tidally locked, blah, 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 bullshit. That, come on now. Come on now. If it was just that, we could let it slide, maybe. We could let it slide if it was just that. But then there's the extremely low density of the moon. There is the Apollo missions experiment with impacting the moon and measuring the vibrations with seismometers that resulted in an extremely long period of the moon ringing like a bell. There's the high percentage of titanium in the dust on the surface of the moon. There's the low density measurements of the moon. The measurements of the moon's density is way too low. What does this all add up to? Giant titanium sphere, hollow, man-made or alien-made, or somebody made it. A space station under all that dust and rock. You can't have all of those things be true that I just mentioned, plus some other stuff, and it not be an artificially constructed space station. It's just you can't have all that stuff. The crater depths. Look at that particular little gem. The crater depth thing, you can't have that situation like that and the moon not be made of an extremely resilient material just under the surface of all that dust and rock. Well, just under the surface. It could be a kilometer or two. I don't remember how far it was, though. But there is clearly an extremely tough shell underneath the surface of the moon that prevents craters from getting beyond a certain depth. No matter how big the crater is, it never gets any deeper than a certain depth. That's not what we see on the Earth, right? The bigger the crater, the bigger the object that hit it, right? So we know, so the diameter of the crater is going to, the bigger the diameter is, it's a bigger object to hit, and it's going to have a deeper penetration, a deeper crater. That ain't how it is on the moon. The moon, there's a maximum depth that a crater can get to, no matter how big that crater is in diameter. So that that indicates there's an extremely tough shell underneath. And you just can't ignore all these things and say the moon is a natural satellite. It isn't. It can't be. Unless you can disprove 90% of that shit I just said, you can't you can't you can't deny the moon is an artificially constructed a sphere up there, a big space station of some kind. Maybe it was a ship that just parked in orbit. I don't know, but it's definitely hollow. It's definitely got a titanium shell on it of some kind, a hull, or at least the hull is a high percentage titanium ore or alloy of some kind that to 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 explain the high levels of titanium on the moon's surface. Um, but yeah, but we've gone over this before, and some people still they just won't believe. I'm like, look, put all these facts together, look them up yourself. The damn thing's not a natural moon. Somebody built that bitch. Shit. Chats are gonna try to run away from me. Let's see. Why is everything so spastic with my computer? I'm parked a little bit further away from this building than I'm normally am. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Mr. Lee's here. It's all English in here. Where are the American fellows? I don't know. I don't know where all the Americans are, Mr. Lee. They're just not here yet. It's only 6 p.m. right now. So, a lot of people haven't settled in for some internet time yet. But well, we're 6:11 now. They should start showing up. A lot of people are still on their way back from work or whatever, hiding from the UKers. Yeah. Deborah says, I don't believe the moon is a planet. It's one of my conspiracy theories. Yeah. Well, I don't think conspiracy. I mean, like the CIA weaponized that phrase, conspiracy theory. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I mean, there's some kind of secrecy going on there. I mean, the government isn't admitting what the moon is to us. They're not telling us. So there's some kind of conspiracy there, sure. But the facts that I just stated a while ago are still the facts. The damn thing is artificially constructed by somebody. And that just gets supported by that whole Ingo Swann remote viewer thing, where he was asked, when he said when he worked for the government, they asked him to remote view the moon. I can't remember all the details of the story though, but basically it went that he went to the moon. There was people there, and they could see him as a remote viewing. They were able to perceive him viewing them, and they told him to get the fuck out. OGG also thinks it's not a planet, a natural moon. Mr. Lee says because it's a giant space station. Yeah. Maybe George Lucas was trying to tell us something with Star Wars and the Death Star. That's a Death Star up there. Oh man, come on, chat. It's them things locking up. Star, but I think all I can say is that it appears it's something artificially constructed underneath all the dust and rocks. Ocean Ponds here, welcome. Deborah says, "Where is Harvey? I need some banter." Harvey's probably watching. He's probably cursing because he's like, "Dang it, Lockbeard's figured out who I am." Deborah says, "Don't kick me out of the chat, but I have never seen Star Wars." Oh, the humanity. Well, you can't judge Star Wars by the more recent movies and stuff like that. Like, sometime when, I don't know, maybe you're not a big sci-fi fan or something, but if you're ever in the mood for it, you think you're in the mood for it, watch the original 3 movies, you know, and probably just stop there. Probably just stop there. If you don't stop there, I would recommend that you watch the 3 prequel movies. Watch the 3 prequel movies. And then never watch anything else from Star Wars again. Fuck all of it. You know, I know some people like Rogue One, but Rogue One, it was completely, nobody gave a fuck about that whole storyline. They took some storyline that nobody gave a shit about. They're like, oh, let's blow this up into a whole movie and make it a thing. And there's not going to be any lightsabers, well, until the very end. People watching Star Wars want some damn lightsabers. It's just a fucking reality. But Rogue One was an okay movie, but I can't in good conscience recommend that people, you know, go out of their way to watch it. You know, if it's sitting there and you're bored and you ain't got nothing else to do, okay. They made the movie Solo, which is a backstory for Han Solo. You don't need to watch that. It's a piece of crap. They picked the wrong goddamn actor. That alone, you know, the new Star Trek movies, the kind of it's people are calling it a soft reboot, but really what happened is you know, Spock went back in time and changed the timeline, and so they changed how everything unfolded. So it really isn't a reboot at all. But it's just more time travel shenanigans in Star Trek. That's always stupid. Always stupid. I wish they never opened up that Pandora's box of time travel shit. But they did, so it's just part of Star Trek. But anyway, so and you know, J.J. Abrams directed the new movies and the newer movies of Star Trek, and you know, he did a pretty decent job with a lot of that stuff. But wherever his failings are, you know, I can forgive to some extent, because I'll be damned if he didn't make the most perfect choice for Bones with Carl Urban. Carl Urban was the perfect the perfect Dr. McCoy for a reboot. Perfect. I mean, you can't get a better casting choice from any of the actors that I'm aware of out there. There just isn't one that exists. Well, there was an equally perfect choice for a young Han Solo out there, and I'm forgetting his name right now, but I've talked about him on here before, and they failed to pick him, and they picked this other guy that you know, it's just some, I shouldn't even know who this guy was. Anyway, I don't know who the other guy is either, but the guy is so perfect for Han Solo that 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 casting choice would have changed everything about people's perception of the Solo movie. It just would have changed everything. But they didn't. They made a poor casting choice. They wrote a crappy movie, and their first mistake was making the movie at all. Nobody was asking for a backstory of Han Solo. They just weren't. They want to see the universe go forward in a logical manner, which that exists within my computer and my scratchings and my scribblings and my writings of potential future movies for Star Wars. But that's never going to happen. So whatever. What they did was make some crappy sequel movies, and boy, they just shit all over themselves. And then of course I mentioned last night, I think, about Disney choosing to keep the board who has made all these bad decisions at Disney, and they're keeping those same people, and people started selling their stock, and the stock price is dropping, and Disney is dead in the water. Everyone who owns stock, I definitely, if I was you, I'd sell. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, if you ever get in the mood to watch Star Wars, watch those original 3 movies, which are what they call episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then they made the prequel movies, which is episodes 1, 2, and 3. Prequel movies, you know, they were okay. I liked some aspects of them. Some of it I didn't, but after you watch, but if you do go ahead and watch the prequel movies, after you watch them, look for a YouTube video about search for Darth Jar Jar. Don't watch that until you watch the Star Wars movies. But after you watch the Star Wars movies and the prequel movies, go look up Darth Jar Jar. uh, Jojo says, "Oh my fucking god, Deb, you haven't watched Star Wars? What?" Okay, I can't get the freaking chat to function here hardly at all. Haven't either. Deborah, I can't believe it. That's shocking, says Mr. Lee, about not watching Star Wars. Deborah says, Mark and all the kids love it. They love any movie. I fall asleep. It's my ADHD. I can't sit still for that long. R2D2's here. Welcome, R2D2. Got a particular piece of equipment at work that I call R2 because it sounds like R2D2. Jojo says even I've seen Star Wars. Deborah says, yet I've seen Grease about 30 times. The only reason I ever saw Grease is because my mom was watching it. Not my cup of tea. OGG says, I brought up Lads, but we never watched it. Thunder Ruddy Cats on our telly. Thunder Ruddy Cats. Like a little robot heard us, Elaine. Run. Yeah, R2D2. Let me tell you what, Mr. Lee, R2D2 was pretty awesome in the movies. But R2D2, you see his just how truly awesome R2D2 can be if you see my Star Wars movies get made. I got an R2D2 storyline. So there's some ass kicking that goes down. And you will cry. You will cry in the movie. Well, most people will probably. But it'll never get made. So don't hold your breath. R2 in the house. Yeah. Yeah. Grease 2. Need the romance of films for me. I'm thinking you meant it ruined the romance of films for you. Chewbacca's here. He says, GoGG says, blimey, they attacked us now, Deb. Mr. Lee says, you've done it now. Deborah says, oh no. Come on, chat. Come on, work. You can do it. I can't get all these to pop up because the damn thing ain't working right. Deborah says, oh no, and the big hairy one, we just need a big gold one and we have a full set. Jojo says Ewoks rule. Well, I think Mr. Lee 3PO is the big gold one. Yeah, someone said gold, Mr. Lee. Deborah says, do not sing Spandu. You love them. There are promises. It's just the song, Joe. I hate it. Gold. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, you can publish own work's easy on Amazon, I would buy it. You mean as a written work? Yeah. I ain't got time to do something like that unless it's, if it was a paying, if I was getting paid, maybe we could talk, but there's no guarantee you can get paid, Maybe one of these days I'll find a time I can justify because that's a huge time commitment. It's huge. All right, let me see if I can. I don't know why in the hell stuff ain't working quite right. Well, I just lost my. Dang it. I just lost you probably saw it briefly, the other article I had. I could try to get it to bring it back up, but everything's all bungled up. I can't get it to work. Need to give Locke a lesson. UK slang. I guess I'm probably not understanding some of the things you're saying. You're probably very correct. Should visit the UK. I'm afraid to visit the UK. They'll throw me in the slammer because I misgendered somebody. So they said, we saw you misgender people 5,652 times on your live stream. That's a life sentence, son. OGG says, Lockbeard, being nosy now. What interests you away from your chats? Huh? I don't understand what you're saying. What interests you away from your chats? I would save you, Locke. Would you? You'd save me from the authorities. Yeah, I hear you governments over there are a little crazy. OGG says I'm new here. Mr. Lee says misgendered. Yeah, that's it, Mr. Lee. Oh, let me see if I can try to. Just a second. I think I got it. Computer is fighting me hard. I don't know if it's a little hot. It is a little bit on the warm side. Or if I just got a weak signal. That's part of it. I'm trying to get this page to load, and it's not wanting to load very fast anyway. It's trying. Yeah. Slowly but surely. There's not even, well, there might be video on this page. I don't know. It's just a web page. OGG says I'm new here. What interests do you have? What interests do I have? As far as the subject matter of LOCKBEARD phenomena, paranormal subject matter. But overall, it's science, big time science, understanding the universe, understanding all manners of science, though. History, technology. Is asking what are your hobbies? This is one of my hobbies right here, I guess. and beekeeping. I guess that's a hobby. When you're not chatting, I think alignment, says JoJo. Correct. Where's Donald the Peckerneck? I don't know. Yep, bees. Bees, bees, bees. I got me honey bees. And this web page is not loading up worth a damn. I might have to try moving closer to the building if this is. I don't know if that's part of the issue or not, though. See, I accidentally closed it, and so now trying to load it back up, it's a problem. It's a problem. It don't want to load it back up. Nice one, says OGG. Peckerneck, yeah, Peckerneck. So, you know, a lot of people like to fantasize about the stories of giants and believe there's all this mystical, magical shit going on, and giants of ridiculous size, and so what I think is just shit blown out of proportion. Like if we got people being born that get up close to 8 feet tall today, there's no reason to think that there weren't people occasionally born that get up that high in the past as well. And an 8 foot tall person is going to seem like a giant to a normal height person. Well, shit, even if like, because like there's some immigrants here, and I don't know what their specific nationality are, but there's some type of Latin American type people, and the men are way shorter than me. They're all real short or small people. So imagine if you were a member of that short race of people. And, you know, before all the cars and the planes and the trains were invented, right? And for generations, you'd never seen anyone that didn't look just like your people and was short like your people. And you didn't think that was short. You just thought that was how tall people were, right? And then one day, and you're about this tall on Lockbeard. And then one day, a ship full of Lockbeards show up. And we're assholes. We're all assholes. We got this metal armor on and these swords and shit, and we start fucking shit up. You're gonna think, damn, those are some giant, powerful motherfuckers right there. What the hell are these gods? You know. And anyway, so that story, you know, they're gonna pass that, you know, and so maybe the ship full of Lockbeards, you know, they take all the gold, they kill half the men, and they have their way with all the women. Let's just say. And then they leave, and then the story gets passed down for generations. You got, you know, they tell about these stories, these men with metal skin and huge beards, and they were, you know, this much taller than us, or they just, you know, just said they were extremely tall. Maybe they just say they're extremely tall. Well, extremely tall might be subject to some interpretation from generation to generation as the story is passed down. And then, you know, whereas the people that they encountered might have been, you know, an average of 5'9", 10 generations down the road, as the story is told, people are perceiving the visitors as being 10 foot tall. Because that got lost in the passing down of the story, and it got exaggerated over time. Dudes go fishing and come back home with exaggerations bigger than that, right? In the same damn day. So people can't tell me that it is not possible that these giant stories are just exaggerated over time, misinterpreted over time, generations, centuries later, and tell me that you choose to believe those stories are accurate somehow. They're not. Okay, let's just let's just throw that out. You can't take those stories as being accurate. I mean, if you're going to take those stories as being accurate, why don't you go up here and listen to the creation story of the world of the Wyandotte tribe in Oklahoma? Their creation story involves like a newt, like there was nothing but the ocean. Where did the ocean come from? I don't know that part of their story, but there was mud on the bottom of the ocean, and there was a turtle swimming on the surface of the ocean. So the newt, or maybe it was a frog, I can't remember which one, dove down, scooped up a mouthful of mud off the bottom, and come up and spit it on the back of the turtle, and then the world is on the back of a fucking turtle. Do you believe that story? Or Occam's razor, the simplest story is most likely true. Occasionally, a race of short people encountered a race of taller people, and not even it just got passed down as giants. He was giants, and now people today who aren't even a member of some of the races that passed the story down are hearing the story and hearing stories of giants and saying, "Oh, there must have been these 15-foot tall giants. These people, they passed that down accurately." Bullshit. Bullshit. Jojo says, "Lock over here. They say if you see a bee on the floor, offer it some sugar water. If you feel like doing it. Bees are good at finding food, though. Flower nectar is the best thing for them. Bee warrior. My dad named me Deborah because it meant bee. Was Warwick Davis in Star Wars? Yeah, wasn't he played inside? He was R2D2. Deborah asked that. The OGG says we have dwarfs, so why not giants? Yeah, but giants and but see, dwarfs are regular. That's the thing we can observe. It's a small people that have a dysfunction, a genetic issue, and these people here are all. Look at the what's his nuts there. The second picture. Um, Whoops. See, he's the world's tallest man. Um, Born in 1918. He was an unremarkable 8.7 pounds when he was born. Grew to 8 foot 11.1 inches. That's Robert Waldlow. Now y'all know when he was taking that picture, he was looking down, thinking, "Ladies, while you're down there, come on now, you guys, come on." Your son is 6'5". Volta BS just out of vehicle a video. Mr. Lee posted the link there. You're 6'1", Mr. Lee. So he was in Willow Debs. Love that. Yeah, but he also, as I recall, was the little guy inside of R2D2. Well, didn't he play? He probably played an Ewok too. I'm sure. Pygmies too. Yeah. So the scenario I just described, though, that was when there was a taller race of people. Today the average height of an American is 5'9", and these immigrants here from somewhere in Latin America are lucky to be hitting 5 foot. The tall ones, they're very small. So if they run across a race of people like me, they'd be, back in the day, they would think, "Oh gosh, what are these gigantic things?" Buying a ticket right now as you speak. don't believe that turtle nonsense. Mr. Lee says, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why is it that people want to believe certain stories as if they're 100% accurate from, but the other stories that are obviously, the turtle story is so obvious that you'd really have to be a numbskull to not see that story is stupid and it's not true and it's just some kind of allegory or something. So why do people want to believe there's these giants? They hear the Kandahar giant story and they want to believe that, and there's no proof of that story. But what we do know is we have these people like this guy here. He's the tallest one on record. There could have been taller people. And granted, he had health problems. Like he had to use a cane and stuff and had a hard time getting around. But that doesn't mean that there haven't been people that didn't have such a hard time. Maybe they weren't as tall as he is. They could have been a little bit shorter and not have the health problems. Link Lockbeard. Play Link Lockbeard. What? Oh, Gigi Warwick Davis ran my mom over on a Segway at King Street Station. That shit, Did you get an autograph? Fucking howdy. There's Brian C. says, howdy feckin' duty, y'all. I'm pretty sure Warwick Davis did not play Chewbacca. He might have played Chewbacca's schlong. Volt's new short. Mr. Lee says, Brian C. is English too. It's a conspiracy, Lockbeard. It is a conspiracy. YouTube isn't showing me to people in the United States for some reason. I mean, seriously, look at this shit. How do you explain this stuff? This is crazy. I'm banned in the U.S., but not in the U.K. That's crazy. That's fault to do one on me. I hope he does. He cracks me up. Just watched it. Deborah says it's comedy goat. How do you people take offense at that? It's just humor. Oh, haven't you heard? Woke culture, cancel culture, is canceled comedy altogether. Brian C. says, usually a growth on the pituitary gland. Yeah, that happens a lot. Some Americans are sensitive. They don't like the swearing neither. But these tall people don't look right to me, not in proportion. Yeah, things are off. It's not perfect. It's not going to be, when you're growing outside the normal range of your species, yeah, you're not going to look normal. But that doesn't change the possibility, because now we're jumping from, when I'm talking about like a race of people like me, that's definitely taller than an entire race of people from Latin America that I see most days here in this town. Some of them have immigrated here, and they are, down here. The men, they're short people. So my race would appear to be giants to them. And if that story is passed down 100 generations, after my ship sailed away, well, that story is going to get more and more exaggerated over time. But then there's the possibility of people like this guy who are born with some kind of problem and they just grow into a giant. And people aren't going to really know back then in ancient history that, why this person grew so big. They're not going to, they probably did notice they had problems with some of their proportions, but doesn't matter. It's still a freaking giant to them, and that could just be the simple explanation for where all stories of giants come from. But people want their magical giants, and they don't like it when people like me, let the air out of the fucking balloon. That the reality is it's probably as simple as this. Some races of people are a little bit taller than other races of people. and you have anomalies like this guy that sometimes just grow too damn big. And you know, even though he lives a short life, he could have waged a life of terror upon people in ancient times, you know. When he was young. Let's kidnap Locke to the UK. Nah, man, your Thor ties will throw me in jail for misgendering people. Brian C says Lockett was a joke without Warwick playing. I kind of figured that. Maybe he was an Ewok as well. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he was R2D2, and he probably did play an Ewok. Deborah says, I bet Locke's heritage brings him back to the UK. He looks Viking-y. Oh, definitely. You know, I got Irish blood. I'm mainly English. Got some Irish, got some Swedish, got some French. We don't like to talk about that part. But and there's something else in there somewhere. And then there's the little sprinkle of 3 different Native American tribes. He did play an Ewok, yes. All right, so he did. Time Bandits, fantastic movie. Yeah, it was a pretty fun movie. Mr. Lee says Warwick Davis can't get any work these days because of the woke rubbish. Yeah. Well, we did that story. We read that story from last year on St. Patrick's Day, which was, I think it was over there in the UK, actually, that story was, where this dwarf man, you know, he was able to capitalize on his dwarfish status by playing a leprechaun. And some Karen complained, this is not right. You can't be using dwarfs to play leprechauns. And then he lost his job. He lost his job playing a leprechaun because someone was trying to protect him. Well, you gonna pay for? He was making money, you dumb bitch. And now he's not. He lost his job playing a leprechaun because you want to be all woke and shit. How about you? Next time you think about being woke, you just don't. You shut the fuck up and go home. Because all you guys do is harm. You don't help anything. You harm people. You harm the very people you're trying to help. But I don't think you're really trying to help anyone anyway. You're trying to help yourselves. You're trying to get those status points. I got woke status points. Look at me. I'm better than you. I have a better way of being than you. I am woke. Well, guess what? The rest of us don't think woke is better. Most of us think woke is fucking stupid. So shut the fuck up and leave people alone. Go home. You be woke all you want in your own damn living room. Just leave everyone else alone. Stop fucking with people. Y'all took his job. He took his job. That's what I put on that. I did a clip of it, short. It's not on this channel because I had, got shut down, had to restart, but it is over on my Rumble, LOCKBEARD channel on Rumble from last year, where they lost a dwarf man's job from him. He lost his job because somebody complained that they were using a dwarf to play a leprechaun. Somehow that was insensitive or some shit. Bitch, he applied for the job. If anyone's the person to decide if it's insensitive or not, it's the goddamn dwarf. Apparently he didn't have a problem with it because he applied for the job. Fucking dumb fucking shit. Deborah says Lee can't he wear stilts and buy longer trousers. That's it. Locke's English. Yeah, I'm mostly English. The majority English. Deborah says I'm Irish, Welsh, German, and Basque in that order. Yeah. Just me. Jojo says I'm just me. Yeah, just me. Brian says I'm Pleiadian, Lyran, Arcturian, and a small pinch of Klingon. Laughing my ass off. Oh man, did you see that? We're getting lots of science fiction faux pas here tonight. I mean, he just misspelled Klingon. That's just that's blasphemy right there. Uh, a lichen Viking PMSL. What the fuck? Yep. There, big old tall dude, tallest dude on record. He was born in 1918, so we don't have records of of much going. We don't know what the tallest person was 10,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago. Because we don't got a skeleton for everybody, right? We got a few skeletons and that's it. Well, if you just got a few skeletons from whoever existed in the world, at a particular point in time, well, that's not exactly giving you an accurate representation of everybody that was in the world. It just doesn't. You're not gonna get the tallest person. You're gonna get basically an average for the most part. But yeah, 8 foot 11.1 inches tall when he was measured in 1940. Becoming the tallest man in the world, and it was a matter of weeks later, I think, or months, when he died. And he died from like an infected boil or something like that. It wasn't even really because of his height issues; it was something else. So this is on the Guinness World Records website. I don't know if we want to watch. It's probably got some. Yeah, it probably copyright hit us if we played anything of this, so we probably shouldn't do that. Here's the Irish guy, I think. Yeah, 1806, measuring 2.46 meters or 8 foot 1 inch. Patrick Cotter O'Brien earned the title of tallest Irishman, and this is where they tell us here that the Guinness Book of World Records no longer monitors records based on countries or nationalities, just absolute world records. Well, that's just why y'all slacking on your job, yo. Brian says, "Oh dear, sorry, blasphemer." Spelled the others right though. I don't know about those. It sounds like some space stuff. Jojo says they never seem to live a long life either, do they? Yeah, most of them do not. They're because our type of human just isn't made to get that big, so it's hard on all of our organs and stuff like that. So more likely to die. Mr. Lee says, I rented a disabled access cabin in the woods one time. I thought fantastic deal, very cheap. Spent all week bending down. I was on my knees using the shower, no lie. Crazy, man. Deborah says, Brian, have you been mushroom picking again? You got the red ones mixed up with the blue. Last time we had a bet to bail you out and fix your pantyhose. I'm not doing that again. Gosh. Dad, get them all in a twist. Brian says, last time I went mushroom picking, it was from in between my toes. Oh, gross. Gross. K, not C, was the Klingon reference. Yeah, we all know. We all know. Tallest teenager ever, 1863. It's a female. Anna Haining Swan, Canada. Looks like she lived. How old was she when she died? 42-ish, something like that. They give kind of a timeline of how she grew. On 17th of June, 1871, Anna married Martin, who stood 7'9" tall, or 236.22 centimeters in UK speak, and they became the tallest married couple ever. 1922, following a head injury at the age of 11, Jenny Bunford from the UK became the tallest woman ever. Her skeleton, now preserved in the Anatomical Museum in the Medical School at Birmingham University, measures 223.5. I am sure they mean centimeters here, not meters. Or 7 foot 4 inches high. 1935. This is Robert Waldlow, tallest man in history, but he was also the tallest male teenager ever at the age of 17. Watch where you're walking, dude. You're gonna get a face full of Waldlow right there. Watch where you're stepping. 1940, tallest man ever. That's Robert Waldlow, obviously. Remains the tallest person in the world ever, as far as we know. They got a height chart for him. 1970, American Don Kohler became the tallest man living in 1970 at the age of 44, 8 foot 2 inches tall. So the size is attainable for us. If you had another race of people that evolved over, thousands and thousands of years to be taller, and so they would be taller in a healthy manner, right? Because they developed all of the necessary characteristics required to be healthy and thrive at a height of 8 feet. It's just not outside the realm of possibility. And some people like to think or try to say that it is, but it absolutely is not. Now, when we get that tall, our particular race of people, yeah, it can be problematic. It's going to be health problems. It's going to have a hard time getting around. Your organs have a hard time dealing with that shit. Your heart. But it is achievable for us, and it is absolutely conceivable that another race of people, maybe they're tall and hairy, developed over time to be a little taller, and pretty soon they were Sasquatches. But they're still just a big, tall, hairy human being. It's just their particular race is designed to be that tall. Just like mine type is this tall, and those immigrants are this tall. He had a twin sister, 5'9". Later on in life, curvature reduced his standing to 2.38 meters. Yep. 1975. First time the Guinness World Records officially recognized someone as the tallest woman living. 1975. Sandy Allen was last found to be 2 meters, 31.7 centimeters, or 7 foot and 7.25 inches. When she was born in Chicago, she weighed 6 pounds, 7 ounces, and her abnormal growth began soon after. Let's see here. She's being wheeled around. 82. Xing Jinlian. Yeah. Hunan province. Measured 8 foot 1 inch. 246.3 centimeters. Looks like she just made it to 18. Or not even 18. She was 17, looks like, when she died. Began to grow abnormally from the age of 4 months. Suffered from both scoliosis and diabetes. To this day, she remains the tallest woman ever. 7 foot and 1.5 inches, or 217 centimeters. (2010) record-breaking giant Yao Defan from China, 7 foot 7 inches, or 233.3 centimeters. Achieved the tallest woman living title. Died in 2012. In 2011, Moroccan Brahim Taqiullah, tallest person living in 82, or she was born in 82, became tallest person living after she was found to measure 246.3 centimeters, or 8 foot and almost an inch. Remains the tallest man in Morocco. Broken record. His record was broken later that year by Turkey's Sultan Kosin. He's on the thumbnail you saw, who measured 8 foot 2.8 inches in 2011. Sultan's huge height, result of an overactive pituitary gland, although his was caused by the presence of a tumor. Since the tumor was operated on in 2010, tests have seen Sultan's hormone levels return to normal, so he is unlikely to grow further. Currently boasts the largest hands. Let me catch up in the chat here. I'm sure the chat's flying. Brian says, Locks caught us in chat, not typing fast enough. Deborah says, Brian, I'm now eating mushrooms ever. I'm not eating mushrooms ever again. That's worse than those trouser cockles you tried to get me to buy. Ugh, gross. Gross. Brian says, never tried the magic ones, though, but one day. Deborah says, I lost several years of my teens on mushrooms. Raptors here says, hello, everyone. Just got off work. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Brian says, I bet it was great. I should have started taking them 20 years ago. I'd have missed all the shit I just been through. Mr. Lee says, you used to be able to buy magic mushrooms in shops. The Mexican ones were powerful. Jojo says, so were giants real in the past? That's what I'm saying. Most likely, no. Most likely, you and I are the giants. Like the situation I just explained with the short race of people that I see here in this town right here. They're from Latin America, and they're all really short. They're, they come up to here. If you could think back in that time, you forget modern time, because nowadays everybody moves around too much. We got technology, we got planes, we got trains, and we got automobiles. So people are used to seeing very different people all the time. Back then, that isn't what happened. Most of the time, people were just there in their village, and the only people they ever saw were their own kind or people in the neighboring village who were almost identical to them. They were all the same genetics. And they were all this short in these areas that these people come from. So imagine what they thought when a bunch of Europeans that were this tall showed up with swords and armor and shit. Start taking their gold, killing most of their men, and raping all their women. They're like, fuck, these are goddamn giants. And then the giants leave. And for generations, stories are told about these big motherfuckers that came and fucked some shit up. And the fish story grows and grows and grows. So instead of talking about someone that was 6 foot tall, they're talking about someone that's 10 foot tall. But it doesn't matter. A 6 foot tall person is a giant compared to a 5 foot tall person. They just are. When they've never seen them before. They're like, look at this big motherfucker. He outweighs me by 100 pounds. I mean, I know a guy almost a foot taller than me. Almost. Weighs, well, he used to. He weighed 450 pounds. Now, I'll tell you, all he's got to do is grab you and roll, and you're dead. Can you survive 450 pounds rolling over top? Well, you might survive it, but you're not going to have a good day, right? That's a giant, and when you tell the story to the next person who didn't see him, it just has a way of growing. So no, I don't think there were anything of the things that people are imagining in their head. That ain't what happened. What happened was either it was, maybe it was a race of Europeans that were a foot taller than the natives that they encountered who had never seen someone that big, or it was cases of gigantism like these anomalies who their own family oftentimes is not tall. Sometimes there's a little bit of height in the families, but oftentimes the family is not tall. Well, if people think that anomalous people weren't born too tall like this 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, then you're in denial, and that those people would have been spoken of. It's like, look at that big motherfucker, and the story would have been told, and it gets passed down. It was a giant, and today people want to have this romanticized, mystical explanation for giants instead of Robert Wadlow. You had Robert Wadlow of 10,000 BC, and that's it. And people don't like that though, because it's not magical, and it's not this whole thing, this whole fantasy I got of reality. No, I'm sorry, dude. Anomalous tall people were sometimes born in the distant past, just like they are now. And that's Occam's razor. Look up Occam's razor. All it really means is the simplest explanation is often the truth. And that's the simplest explanation. And most plausible explanation. As opposed to there was a race of giants that were 15 foot tall. They shot lasers out of their eyes and their cocks. Or whatever other bullshit they come up with. Nephilim, it was a Nephilim. The Nephilim come down and they were 100 feet tall and they raped the women. And the women somehow survived that and gave birth to half-breeds, which they also somehow survived. It don't make any damn sense, but don't question the story too much. Just believe my fantasies. No. No. Most likely, what we're talking about right now is the real origin of stories of giants. Got little antibodies? They probably do. Infestation in your bathroom, I'll ask for you. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, take regular table salt, put it around in the room. It will keep out the ants. How about the giant skulls in the Smithsonian? Well, how big were they? How big does a European skull look next to a Homo floresiensis skull? Is it really that big of a difference in the grand scheme? Could there have been a little bit larger race of people running around? Sure. But if they were people that average 6'6" or 7 feet tall, yeah, they're going to have a bigger skull. But how much bigger are these skulls? I mean, produce them. Let's see them and see how tall these people really were. If you had a race of redheaded people that were 8 foot tall, that is not that extraordinary. It just isn't. And I would say, okay, that's fine. There was a race of people that got pretty damn tall. But 8 foot, Robert Wadlow is that tall, it's not that, well, he was taller than that. It's not that fantastic a thing, So let's see, where was he at? Go back to him. Tallest man ever, right? Eight foot, 11.1 inches. He's close to 9 foot tall. Now, obviously, he had health problems, but But you knock a foot off, knock them back to 8 foot. You know, maybe that's a more manageable height that maybe a race of people over generations selectively bred to be that tall, so they didn't have the health problems because they were bred for that. It wasn't an anomaly like this guy, if that race of people existed. So I don't find it that fantastic at all. You know, have a race of people with men that topped out at 8 foot tall. That's not that fantastic an idea. There's nothing magical about it. No Nephilim involved. There's just a tall race of people. And, but, you know, what if, you know, because, you know, a lot of times Native American tribes, they talk about Sasquatch as just being another tribe of people out there, right? So what if these ancient stories of red-headed giants are really just talking about Sasquatch people? And their skulls look like oversized human skulls because they are oversized humans. They're just covered in hair. Like I've said many, many times on here, I think they're most likely Homo sapiens. They're just a tall, hairy race of Homo sapiens. Even taller than Scottish people, or even hairier than the Scottish people over there, or the Italians. Tallest ballet dancer, 2014. 6 foot 6.3, 6 foot 6.6 inches, 199.73 centimeters. Fabrice Camille's. I don't know about the uniform there. Don't know about that. Largest feet. Yeah. There's your Bigfoot right there. There's your Bigfoot right there. Meanwhile, Venezuelan Mr. Hernandez has held the record for largest feet on a living person, male, since 2014, when the right was 1 foot 3.79 inches. So 15, almost 16 inches. His left foot was a little shorter. 15-inch feet. Got somebody out here. Get us some characters hanging around sometimes. All right, here's a good one. Let me check the chat, though. Yeah. I mean, you get the stories of the giant skulls, but Mr. Ryan C says, I'll whistle Mr. Lee when they will come running. Pied Piper of the Ant World. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, I'll try it. I've been stomping on them, but more seem to turn up. Well, you got to get rid of your colony. Raptor's telling them to try the salt. What? Once upon a time, I was 5'11", but I've shrunk to 5'9". I don't know how many stones that is, Mr. Lee, but dude was corn fed. Brian C says, I have one once sucked them all up in a vacuum. They sealed all the holes up. You're 5'6" and your son's 6'3.5". Welcome to the chat, Bat Mom. Nobody really knows at the end of the day. Someone does that they're not allowed to tell. Fallen angel bred with women. Yeah, it's pretty laughable. Batman says, well, the cock one is new. Lasers out there of cocks. Interesting. Yeah. Watch somebody hear that and then go spread it, and then a bunch of people actually start believing it. Jojo says Dr. Wu worked on the Smithsonian and said they were huge. Look, consider for a moment all the woo that happens on that channel and the fact that he calls himself Dr. Wu. And do you actually know anything about this guy? Just saying. Just saying. Now, there could be some really big skulls there. Maybe he's telling the truth. I'm just saying, you know, he calls himself Dr. Wu. He could be just making the whole thing up. We literally don't have any information to know one way or the other with him. Brian says, oh no, look, it's laser cock. Yep, laser cock. Jojo says, but his head don't look big. Race of people in South Africa that were 6'7" tall. I just don't remember how long ago. I thought it was like, well, no, there's a race of people like there that are really tall like that now. It's not ancient history. Big dude. Yep. Jojo says my son is a giant to many. Both my sons are 6'3", 6'5". Brian says, sorry, but clowns are well known for having the biggest feet. Imagine. 10-pound baby, ouch. Yeah, 10-pound. Somewhere size 16, but they're too tight, he says. Ridiculous. Deborah says I was 18 when I had Jody. She was 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Brian says, well, I have measured my 2 in a few years, Joe. They could be pushing that. Raptor says, get the handgun out, be ready. No, there's just people that are either on drugs or they're fucking nuts. They're crazy. And that they tend to hang out here. And I'm here. Haha. So yeah. I just try to keep an eye on them. You never know. I mean, the good thing is this place is covered with cameras, and the cops cruise through here pretty regularly. So, baseball bat. Good Lord, he was 8 pounds, 13 ounces. I thought that was big. He came out like a 3-month-old. Baseball bat. Fat newborn. 10 pounds is like an oven-ready turkey. Firstborn. No joke. Ripped off getting a newborn. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, I have an aluminum Louisville slugger bat. It's mainly for robbers, though. Usually, once people see you're in there, they, if they're thinking about something, they go ahead and get the fuck out. But especially when they see me, That time I was at a Walmart in Grove, and this is back before I started locking my doors, because in Grove, whatever. But I started locking my doors because of this incident, really. I'd fallen asleep in the Walmart parking lot, and somebody did not see me in there, and they come up and they opened my door, my driver's side door. I woke up, and by the time I'd really got conscious, and All I saw was their taillights flying out of the parking lot. Opened the wrong fucking door, didn't you, motherfuckers? Because I was sitting right here in the driver's seat. Well, no, I wasn't in this vehicle. I was in a different vehicle, but name. Chase's job name. 9 pounds. Somalian peeps are tall. That one says, I think my son got his height from my mom's side. She's Irish, Scottish. Unfortunately, I took after my dad's Italian side. Yeah, some of the tallest peoples, population-wise, on average in the world, are some of these European countries, actually. Raptor says, Miss Lee, I understand what you got to do. I live and let live. But some people don't understand that. Batman says, my youngest son is only 5'6". He's not happy when he stands next to my oldest son. How old is he? I mean, he's not grown yet, right? Feed that boy some meat. Lots of fatty meat. Some burger patties and steaks. And Deborah says, Celts are giants. They used to call the Welsh the giant marauders. We have lots of giants in our history here in the UK. We are named after the daughters of Albany who slept with giants. Yeah. See, they're just referring to people that are just a little bit taller. They're not talking about, some people want to believe there's 15-foot Kandahar giants out there, because they talk about the Kandahar giant and they talk about, oh, it's this giant, he's redheaded. And I don't remember how tall they said that one was, but it was ridiculously tall, right? And that was a red flag for me because that immediately tells me somebody's trying to perpetuate the redheaded giant mythology instead of this is just a tall race of people. They weren't 15 or 20 feet tall. They were probably 6'6" to 7 feet tall, which is really freaking tall compared to like these Latin American immigrants that I see on a regular basis around here that come up to here on me. They're very, very short people. So I'm a giant and I'm not that tall. That mom says, I tried opening the door to a car that I thought was mine. Couldn't figure out why the heck my key wasn't working. I felt retarded. It happens to everybody sooner or later if there's enough vehicles that look just like yours. Mr. Lee says, LIB said he saw a 22-foot Sasquatch. Yeah, but we've already proven that LIB is a liar and a thief and a hoaxer and all that shit. So, we already know. Although, if we didn't know all that, the very fact that he gave such a ridiculously tall Sasquatch places a lot of doubt on him. With that being said, I don't think it's beyond the capabilities of evolution to produce a 20-foot Sasquatch, but I doubt that actually was ever something that evolved. Sasquatch, I'm betting, are probably 7, 8, 9 foot tall, somewhere in that range, And a lot of people are saying, well, it was 12 feet tall. Well, they're probably exaggerating or without knowing it most time. Like it's so damn big. They're like, it feels like it's 12 foot tall to them. And they're just not good enough at judging the height of something, especially something they're not familiar with. They don't know what the fuck that is they're looking at. They don't know how tall it is. And so they come up with a number that's ridiculous, like 12 feet, when in reality, what they saw was only 8 feet. Or 9 feet, something like that. Deborah says, my son-in-law is Kurdish and they are very short. Most around 5'2", which is my height. Younger son is 16. He's the second husband's son. 5'8" is his dad's height. Raptor says, Mr. Lee said 22. I thought it was 20, so he changed it now. Well, that would be another red flag, wouldn't it? If he's changing his story, then again, that's one of the problems with telling a lie. A lot of times it's hard to keep track of the details of the lie that you told because it's not solidified in your brain as a fact, as like something that you really experienced. Brian C says, Mom, I was parked once and my mother was trying to get in the car 2 parking bays away from me thinking it was mine. I was sat LMAO watching her. Didn't have the heart to let her know. Deborah, you are a petite lady, says Mr. Lee. Jojo says, she is Smurfette, Mr. Lee. 2017, the tallest professional model is Ekaterina Lysina in Russia, who is 205 centimeters or 6'8" tall, measured in Lebinsk, Russia in 2017. She also has the longest legs for a female. I don't. Is she actually holding that as a current record? I think this article is a few years old though. The longest legs is for our Texas beauty giant, and let's see here, 2019 Julie Felton, 6'5", largest feet on a female. Oh, there it is. Oh, fuck. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Stay the fuck away from me. Yeah. Yep, there's Bigfoot. We found her. We found Bigfoot. Would you rather look at that or that? Stumpy. JoJo says we have a female chatter that comes in our UK streams, 6'4". Sultan Kosin, tallest living man. Over 8 feet. Tallest living man. 26-year-old, measured again in Ankara, Turkey, 8 foot, 2.8 inches. I don't know if we want to read all this stuff, but he had pituitary gigantism, and they were able to fix him. So he won't be growing any bigger, but he's kind of stuck with the height that he has already grown to. So I don't know if we need all his detail, his history, but he has the largest hands on a living person. Previously held the record for the largest feet. During his first ever visit to London in 2009, Sultan expressed hope that his newfound fame would change his life and help him find a wife. It's really difficult to find a girlfriend. They are usually scared of me. Hopefully, now that I'm famous, I'll be able to meet lots of girls. My dream is to be married. He said, there's a quote there from him, says, I want what everyone else wants, a wife, a family, a nice home, said Sultan. I'd also like the chance to find some decent clothes that fit. I've already had a suit made for me, and at least one dream has come true. I now own a pair of jeans made especially for me. Here he is sitting next to the shortest man ever. Damn, that dude's short. In the years that followed, the giant's life did change. The exposure his record-breaking stature received saw him benefit from free, life-saving surgery to stop his exponential growth. He also enjoyed specially tailored clothing and the opportunity to travel the world. Revolutionary gamma knife surgery on the tumor affecting his pituitary gland, provided by the University of Virginia in USA in August 2010, finally halted Sultan's production of growth hormone and stopped him from getting any taller. Then, in October 2013, he finally fulfilled his dream of getting married. There's him and his wife. Probably shouldn't try to think too much about the logistics there. Brian says, watch out for puck wedgies. Oh, indeed. The girl on the red couch, says Raptor. Brian C says, there's someone behind you. Oh, no, there isn't. Yes, there is. There's these nuts sometimes like to walk right by the van, and Like that one's the one that knocked on my window the other night. Should not have fucking knocked on my window. Miss Lee says Raptor Crazy already married. Sitting next to Warwick. Now Warwick's not even that short, man. Mr. Lee, unfortunately, yes, but still can look. Jojo says the short dude has no body to play with. You just shove the whole dude in there. Mr. Lee says that dress is awful. Well, Mr. Lee knows his wedding dresses. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, all fellas look. There's no shame in that. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't look, you're something, you neutered or something. You're a fucking eunuch. Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. So Sultan got married. Big old dude got married.
Closer to cloud 9 than most of us, as the world's tallest man ties the knot. Turkish farmer Sultan Kozan, who holds the world record for tallest living man at 8 foot 3 inches, married 21-year-old Syrian Merve Debo, who at 5 foot 8 barely reaches his waist.
And word has it, Sultan says that's the perfect height. She'll never need knee pads, he says. Brian C says everyone everyone looks Mr. Lee. What the hell? Everyone looks Mr. Lee, everyone, and the ones that don't are lying. That mom says the dress is bad, but maybe she's a gypsy. They love dresses like that. How do you get on that? How do you get on that? Step ladders. She don't have to kneel, does she? So I didn't go too far. Oh shit. So got to thinking about, oh shit, come on now. Got to thinking about giants. Because there was an article the other day, again, about this really tall woman in Texas. And she's a ginger. She's pretty ginger. World's longest legs. I don't know how much I can zoom in on the article because the way this crap works, but a woman who holds the world record for having the longest legs has candidly laid bare her daily battles after struggling to find clothes that fit and getting compared to horror movie characters by trolls. Macy Curran from Austin, Texas, boasts statuesque legs, one of which measures at well, never mind the exact measurements, but she got long legs. Held the record for 4 consecutive years, longest of any female in the world. The 21-year-old who stands tall at 6'10" has gone viral on TikTok after sharing clips of herself demonstrating her incredible height. She shared that she gets a lot of mixed reactions, but claims she loves being unique. Yeah, so you can't even fit her all in the freaking. I have to zoom out. So yeah, you just gotta fold her up. I guess you just gotta fold her up, fit her in the frame. Who's she standing there with? Oh, that's repeating a line in the article there. I don't know who that is she's standing with. Probably a family member. Yep, redheaded giant. Very beautiful. I believe I will give her a chance. Yep. He's got a laser cock. Laser cock. Deborah's off to bed. Night, everyone, she says. Night, Deb. Yep. Yep. If giant women look like this, we need more of them. Indeed, we do. I mean, what if this was really what those ancient stories are talking about? That some of them giant women look just like this lady here. So it gives you a little different perspective if you really let yourself go down that road thinking about what exactly are we talking about in these ancient stories. They're probably just talking about these people that grow to unusually tall, heights. Mr. Lee says, in my opinion, it don't look right. Mr. Lee, you're talking about my future wife. Looks like a beanstalk. JoJo says she looks like a beanstalk. It's okay, honey. They're just jealous. She says, if someone is going to hate, they hate because they don't understand. Macy dished. I'm also called a horror movie characters like Slender Man. I've always been taller than everyone since preschool. I've always been a head above everyone. There was this one instance where I was playing on the playground. I think I was in second grade, and someone asked me if I was a middle schooler because of how tall I was. At the time, I hated my height because it was the one thing kids could target me for, but the best perk would have to be that no one is like me. I am unique. She continued, people will often be like, so you're so beautiful, do you model? At a 6'10" female, my job is to empower other tall women. But there are downsides to her height, too, as Macy admitted. Having to duck under every doorway makes me want to grab a hammer and smash them all down. She feels the pain of Harry Henderson. Yes, Harry Henderson. The young woman also struggles with dating, having shared a video recounting how men say they don't like kissing her in public because of the height difference. Well, Macy, your problems with dating are over. Just come to Oklahoma. You can be my Morticia Adams, okay? Yay. What's up with the blurred faces? People don't want to be seen with her? What the hell? She's fantastic. Mr. Lee, I know you're looking at her. You're looking at my wife. She revealed, I currently have no interest in dating, but all the times I've dated, especially with men that are shorter than me by a significant amount, has just felt off. Like they were almost embarrassed of me. I would never be embarrassed of you, Macy. The content creator is often flooded with comments underneath her videos from people comparing her to the Slender Man character, to others asking if she is even real. Holy shit. Yes. That's a good question, because my future wife is in fact unreal. You guys, yes, there you have it. The fictional Slender Man is depicted as a thin, unnaturally tall humanoid with a featureless white head and face, and was featured in a 2018 movie of the same name. In one video of Macy, a viewer said, that would be scary to see in a dark hallway. What the fuck? Oh my gosh. Okay, some users compared her to the other mother character in the Coraline movie. But elsewhere, some fans she should thanks to her height and ask how she finds clothes that fit her, something that is particularly a struggle for Macy. I guess here's some comments people made about this person said the other mother thing. This person said you should model. Another person said the other mother thing. Scary in a dark hallway. Are you real? What the hell? Finding clothes is hard, she says. I shop at American Tall mostly, although they don't have any long pants that fit me. I have to get them custom made, which costs $250 for one pair of jeans. I'm not made of money, so I only have 2 pairs of jeans that fit me right. Despite her fame due to holding the world record, Macy says she isn't worried about retaining the title. I've had the world record for female longest legs for about 4 years now. Having that title doesn't have a meaning to me anymore. It's more of a thing of the past. If anyone wants to take the title from me, I'd be more than happy. Yep. Y'all crazy. This is my Morticia Addams. Only ginger. Raptor says, tall girls, you just wrap them like a pencil. You make sure you don't hurt them. Jojo says, I have curves like a real woman. Thank you. Mr. Lee says, no, not for me. Jojo, ditto, girl, ditto. Like them wider. Well, women are good on all shapes. All shapes. I probably have a wider range than some people. Batmom says, Lucky has a fetish with kittens. We can't expect much from him. With kittens? What are you talking about with kittens? What are you talking about? A fetish with kittens? Are you talking about? Hold on. You're not talking about this clip I took out of a. Where's that thing at? This clip I took out of a Mr. Plinkett video. Where did the cat thing go? I lost it. Did I lose the cat video? Holy crap. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
I like to fuck my cat.
Come on now. That's funny. I don't care who you are. Mr. Plinkett's funny as hell. Y'all should watch a little Mr. Plinkett sometime. But Batmom says, I try to block it out, Mr. Lee, but it's burned in my brain. What, that cat video? Timmy Boy's here. He says, good evening. Mr. Lee says, Batmom, he will play the clip for you, I bet. You damn right I'll play it. You mentioned the cat. I'll play the cat. Lock ain't a boob man then. Again, my range is very wide. Like, I'll take them huge. I'll take them very small. I'm not limited. I have a wide range that I am perfectly happy with. Mr. Lee says, Tim Boy, you missed everything as usual. Yeah, missed a whole lot. We're 2 hours in, aren't we? Batman says, see, that's all kinds of not right. Well, you do understand the cat didn't actually get fucked, right? I think. You'd have to ask Mr. Plinkett about that. That's him in the video. Big girls need love too, says Tim Boy. Yeah. See, the good thing about having the really small breast is they won't sag below her belt line when she's 90. See, that's a plus. Come on now. There's not a chance of suffocation in your sleep if she rolls over on your face. That's a real danger with big titties. Mr. Lee says, I don't like hairy ladies, though. I have some standards. Well, yeah, that's something that falls outside the normal female characteristics. So, yeah, we don't want hairy ladies. No. None at all. It don't bother me none. Don't bother me none. Matt Mom says, I don't know nothing. I did it say anything about no cats were hurt in the making of it? Well, it did not say that. It actually did not say that. So we got to wonder, I guess. I mean, the good thing is Mr. Plinkett is not a real person. It's a character played by the guys over at Red Letter Media. So I'm going to assume that the cat was not actually harmed. There is a video from when she was young. I don't know how old she is back then. Oops. I'm trying to turn the sound off. We don't want the sound because it's going to be, I guarantee this one's probably going to be a copyright strike. I can't even get that right on the screen, but what the hell's up with the light? Killing me, Smalls. I believe her mom is kind of a normal height person, but her dad was pretty tall and her brother was pretty tall. Not as tall as her, but they were pretty tall. But, you know, out of a regular family, occasionally you pop up a tall person. So who's to say that these weren't regarded as giants way back in the day, and the story just got blown out of proportion, and now people believe all kinds of crazy shit when it comes to giants. Somebody makes up a story about the Kandahar giant in Afghanistan, and people just jump all over it because they want to believe in the fantasy of these giant red-headed people that they're hiding in the mountains and shit, when in reality there's the real giant right there, you know. And these other people we've looked at, those are the real giants.
Level out, come on.
Can't get the damn Timmy video to play.
Come on.
Play, Timmy. Play. Yeah, it's all cut off for some reason.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to get the comments to come back on my screen here. Raptor says that Locke, are you hitting on these girls on the internet? No. 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 Just talking shit on my channel, Raptor.
Yeah, now turn around and lay an egg on the glass.
Yep. Where's Donald?
I'm his father. He comes to me for advices.
Team Boy says Spaceballs is a classic. Yep. They don't make movies like that anymore. You couldn't get away with half the stuff they did, and just crap movies anymore, man. Most of them. Lockie needs meds. Do I need meds? I don't think I need no meds. I don't need no stinking meds. It's 10 minutes till 8. How much y'all want to bet Mr. Lee's going to try and take off and go hang out on that one channel? He who must not be named.
Jesus Christ! Oh, can we try the big silver one again?
Oh, what's one I haven't played in a long time? How about the Tex calling for genocide up in this bitch?
That would term loosely. I believe there's people out there that should not be allowed to reproduce.
There are.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I completely agree with you on that. But
that's kind of scary. Ugh, they're killing me, Smalls. Raptor says, always thought it was genetics how some people are real tall and other people aren't. Isn't that been going on for thousands of years? Jojo says, I'm off, guys. Night all. See you later, Jojo. I'm probably going to quit here pretty quick. I'm already tired and all that good stuff. The combing, the desert scene, and Spaceballs. Yeah. The guy that says that line, man, we ain't found shit. That guy is the one who plays Tuvok on Star Trek Voyager. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, yep, it's almost that time again. Yeah, when you gonna quit modding over there, man? Everybody says you should not be modding over there anymore. Good night, Jojo, says Timmy Boy. Mr. Lee says, good night, Jojo again. Sweet dreams. Have a good one. Live tomorrow? Nope. I will be busy working. So can't go live tomorrow. Sorry, Mr. Lee. And Saturday as well. I'll be working Saturday as well, so I can't go live either of those days. Team Boy says, what the hell has Pat been up to? Well, he hasn't been doing a regularly scheduled live stream, but he does have a live stream on occasion. He just had one the other day. I made a couple of live streams kind of talking about there was a little bit of a rivalry going on between Pat and Jay Fritz, because they both were on somebody's live stream, and Pat said something that made Jay really upset. Anyway, so I talked about it on the live stream, and then Pat made a post on Facebook, and I decided to make that my topic one night. And then Pat came on here a few weeks back, because he saw the I posted that I was going to do that live stream, and if you read the title, if you take it out of context, it doesn't mean what Pat actually said, but it's a little bit clickbaity, but that's proper protocol, though. Name stuff that where it intrigues people and are like, wait, what does this mean? They want to come see what it means, and it doesn't mean exactly what you think usually, right? It's a technique for getting people to come watch, and it got Pat's attention, and he showed up. So, but it wasn't like it was a big battle or anything. It's just I read exactly what he posted, and if anybody wants to take it out of context, after seeing that, I guess that's their business. But yeah. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, that would be great. Would help the show quite a bit. Yeah, but I can't go live tomorrow. I can't go live tomorrow or Saturday, and I don't know what my schedule is further on out. So, Team Boy says everyone is so sensitive. Well, Pat's got some strong positions on a couple of things that most everybody else doesn't agree with, and on that particular case, it was something that Jay felt he was someone that it was something that he knew, that he had more direct experience to be able to say different than what Pat was trying to say. So he took it. He didn't take it very well when Pat said the opposite of what Jay believes to be true. So I don't know if they've reconciled on that or not. Personally, I think, well, the whole idea that, like, I think the whole idea that Sasquatch can't move between this place and that place because there's too many people, I don't believe that's the case. Mountain lions and all kinds of different type of wildlife move through people's backyards sometimes without them ever seeing them. Especially mountain lions. Mountain lions are extremely reclusive, and they're nowhere near as smart as what we are and what we think Sasquatch should be. So Sasquatch is probably even better at moving right through someone's neighborhood and nobody ever seeing them. But especially if there's like a river coming through, nobody's looking down in the river channel that is passing right through a major city, in the middle of the night. And they're certainly not looking at something floating down the river. There's logs and shit at night. Sasquatch, if it wants to pass through a major city, all it's got to do is jump in the river and just swim on down the river. And the only thing sticking up his head, nobody's going to see him. It's dark down the river valley, and even if they see him, they're probably not going to be able to make out that it's a face or anything, in the dark of the night. So I think Sasquatch can move through places that people just wouldn't believe. There's the whole discussion about the Great Plains going right up through the middle of the United States, that Sasquatch can't pass through that. I call bullshit on that, because there's river after river after river all up through there, coming from the Rocky Mountains, going all the way over to the Mississippi River. And every one of those rivers is a natural corridor where wildlife can pass through and go unseen if it really wants to be unseen. So I think Sasquatches could pass up and down those rivers all they want, because they're usually surrounded by trees and vegetation that people can't see. And if there isn't enough vegetation where people can't see, well, one, there may not even be people in the area. It might be out in the country, not even in the city. But two, Sasquatch can get in the water and stay in the water at night and pass through just fine and never be seen. So when the discussion between them guys had to do with the land of the lake, the land between the lakes issue. And again, no matter how well traveled those lakes are, at night, nobody is going to see what's in the water. People, I've lived on a lake that was heavily populated with people, houses all around. But I guarantee you that people, you know, because at night, you know, there's still some boats at night, but not enough, and they're not going to be able to see what's in the water. If Sasquatches are swimming across that lake at night, they can go unseen, and they definitely see the boats because the boats are covered in lights. And if a boat does come through, I imagine the Sasquatch is smart enough to use a reed to breathe through and go low, you know, going down in the water and breathe through the reed, or just hold their breath and go down for a little while and wait for the boat to pass and just go unseen. I just don't see a problem with them being able to come in and out of the land between the lakes area. I think they could pass in and out of that area all they want. And then there's the whole idea that there's too many people there. I think the math is off on that. When you're talking about millions of visitors, those millions of visitors are only there on average probably 2 days or something like that. They're not there year round. It isn't the same. And Steve Cole's made a really good point about that, about, you know, if you calculate that, if you do the math properly on those visitors and spread it out to what it would look like for how many people are in the area for the whole year, it ends up being a lower density than a lot of states that have a lot of Sasquatch sightings and a higher population density. So yeah, it's not. And also, I know for a fact that most people are sticking to the trails, sticking to the campsites. They're not going deep into the woods. So the vast majority of those people are on a very small portion of the land in those in national forests and stuff like that. And I know because I've poked into some pretty dense areas, and I guarantee you some of the areas I've gone into, nobody's going in there. There's not a trail, and you're going to get cut up and by thorns and stuff. It's just not easy to get in there, and you're not going in there fast. So if there is a Sasquatch in there, guess what? They have plenty of time to get out of there and move out of the area. So yeah, I don't buy the idea that there can't be Sasquatch in the land between the lakes. Now, a lot of the stories that come out of the land between the lakes are very questionable. I'm not saying all the stories are correct, and especially the dogman nonsense. I'm just saying that it's possible for a Sasquatch population to be in the land, the LBL, year round, and nobody ever sees shit. Although some people are saying they see shit, I'm just saying that's a possibility. You know, how many mountain lions are in there that nobody ever sees? You know, I bet there's quite a few. But black bear or ghost, they might as well be to a lot of people. You know, they're around. It's just, you know, most people just don't see them. Mr. Lee says she's got legs. She knows how to use them. I bet Macy does, Mr. Lee. I bet she does. Let's go. Timmy Boy says, he's sleeping? Are you sleeping? All right, Mr. Lee, take it easy. Redder says, where's the proof that Bigfoot can go through water? We have no proof. Just asking. Well, I don't think that's something that we need to ask for proof of. Here's my question. Do humans swim? Yes. Do bears swim? Do mountain lions swim? Do deer swim? And the answer is yes to all these things. Most of these animals all swim when they need to get from one place to another, and there's a body of water between them. They'll swim. There's all those animals are swimming out to Vancouver Island through salt water, right? They're swimming out to Vancouver Island. So I don't think we really need proof that they can go through water. I'm pretty certain they can go through water. If Sasquatch is real, this is not a big question that we need to worry about. I think that we know that that if they're real, they definitely can go through water just like humans or bears or deer and just about every other species of animal that has bodies of water in its area, and it needs to get across that body of water. All these other animals have been seen swimming across water. So this is not a question. This is not something we need to be, asking for proof about. It's not really necessary, I think. There's other things. There's other things to worry about. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Yeah. Mr. Lee. Later, Mr. Lee says, Timmy Boy says, traitor. Mr. Lee, you traitor. You're a traitor, Mr. Lee. How dare you? Well, anyway, I'm done anyway. Like I said, can't go live tomorrow night, which is Friday night or Saturday night. So I don't know when next time I'll be live, but Raptor says, but there's pictures and videos of these animals doing this, but we have nothing for Bigfoot. Just asking. Yeah, but you can make the assumption, though. You know what I mean? You can make the assumption. Do you really want to die on that hill of this is one thing I think that we can assume is correct, that Sasquatch is capable of swimming in water. Like, you know what I mean? Come on, Raptor. Come on. We have video of these other animals. We also don't have the adequate video of Sasquatch. I'm saying if they're real, they're clearly a type of Homo sapiens or in the genus Homo. They're a type of hominoid of some kind, and can probably swim just fine, just like we can, or any of these other animals. So, seriously. Team Boy says, I agree. Not a huge leap. No, I don't think it's a huge leap at all. I mean, come on. Raptor, he just likes to challenge everything, I think. He just likes to challenge everything. All right, let's get out of here. Thank y'all for hanging out. And I will see you next time.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you